So you guys don't like Star Wars anymore? Okay. So I made a video defending the Amazing Spider-Man and you guys liked it. So I put a poll out to see what video you'd like next. Of course, the fanfiction option absolutely annihilated the other two options, and I'll find myself in a state of perpetual frustration because I find myself going deeper and deeper into a story and creating more parts than I originally wanted because I adore writing so much. That being said, I have so many other projects on the go and I just need a break, in the form of a classic LewisFilms video essay. Originally, I was going to post defending The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but honestly, that film is baffling to find anything good from it other than the Peter and Gwen stuff and the costume. Like, wow, this film is terrible in most sense of the word. With that being said, I'm going to defend the easier option first, which is Spider-Man 3.
Hello. Mr. Parker. Dr. Connors here.
I haven't spoken about the Raimi movies in detail in quite a while, and for once, it's actually not going to be Spider-Man 2. Now, I've already made a video about why Emo Peter from Spider-Man 3 works, and if you guys want to go check out this video, I'll leave a link in the description where you can go and watch that. But why does this film work? Why? I mentioned earlier that this film is way easier to defend than something like The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and there's a solid reason for that. There's a reason why you can find something good in Spider-Man 3. You want to know the reason? It's a damn good film! Like, it's a really good film. It's not great. It's no Spider-Man 2, but it's damn near great. To call this a bad film is to call Spider-Man 2 not one of the best comic book films of all time. And that's absurd. Even if you don't like Spider-Man 3, it's a film with heart, integrity, and you could really tell that everyone that worked on this film put all their effort into it to try and make it the best out the franchise. Unfortunately, due to Sony's involvement in the project, Sam Raimi didn't do what he intended with the film, which was a shame because Spider-Man 1 and 2 were really great superhero films, and honestly, Spider-Man 3 could have been this as well. Sam Raimi, despite filming this even though the script wasn't fully done yet, despite having the massive pressure of living up to Spider-Man 2, despite having Sony on his back about adding unnecessary characters, he still delivered. And you can't tell me that he didn't. Yes, there are some rough patches in it, but honestly, given the circumstances, I think this is the best Spider-Man 3 we could have gotten from Raimi. He coherently told 3 movies worth of plot in one film while still telling the story and conveying the message he wanted to tell and say. And for one director, that's damn near impressive. It makes me wonder if Sony didn't force Venom into this film, would have Spider-Man 3 been the best of them all? Maybe. Raimi was on an incline when making these films. He set the framework with Spider-Man 1, and then elevated it with Spider-Man 2, and could have ended it with Spider-Man 3 being the best of them all. Let's imagine that reality. Let's imagine that Sam Raimi got what he truly desired, and Sony did not interfere with this movie. What would have the story looked like? This movie would have been forefront about forgiveness, which is already conveyed through Spider-Man 3 pretty well, which I commend it for. Let's look at one of the main reasons why Spider-Man 3 is actually a half-decent movie, which is forgiveness. Like I said, despite the meddling from Sony with the story and the characters, the story of Peter, MJ, and Harry still continued through this film, and the element of forgiveness was the main element, and was still very much there. Peter wants revenge throughout the film and learns that he has to forgive Sandman for killing Uncle Ben. Harry wants revenge throughout the film and learns he has to forgive Peter by the end. MJ is resentful of Peter after his egotistical nature, but forgives him by the end. The only one who's not forgiving is Eddie Brock, and guess what? He fucking dies! This movie is all about forgiveness, and I feel like even if you don't like Spider-Man 3, you have to appreciate the film for keeping its main theme and its focus. Raimi could have easily cracked under the studio pressure and just told the Venom story that Sony and Avi Arad wanted him to tell. Yes, it probably would have been less complicated, and probably it would have been an overall better film in terms of pacing and general clunkiness. However, the story would have felt misplaced, out of character, for Peter and MJ and Harry, at least, the trio we've followed since high school, since Spider-Man 1. It wouldn't have felt right. It wouldn't have felt like a Sam Raimi film. You can tell Sam Raimi cared a lot about this franchise to really continue these stories, and I'm glad he did. Even though Spider-Man 3 is an overstuffed mess, I'm glad. I'm glad this is the version we got because the Sony interpretation would have been cold and heartless. This is why I'm defending Spider-Man 3. You've all seen the high top video on Spider-Man 3. You know what this film does right. You know what it gets right. You know how it handles the characters and how it handles them the same as the last two. It handles them in the way that Sam Raimi would do it. It handles them with the campy nature of the other two films. And I love it. And I think we need to appreciate that Sam Raimi didn't blow out on this film. And you can tell it hurt him when the film didn't turn out how he wanted. It hurt a lot, but he wanted to give it a satisfying end, and he did. He gave it a satisfying end, and another thing, it's a good end to the Raimi trilogy. And that's why when the studio went to meddle with the fourth film, he bailed. He couldn't bear to stand that again, especially with a character he so dearly cared about, and you could tell. And this is why we should care about Spider-Man 3. Despite its flaws, we should take it for what it is. It's still a Spider-Man story. It's still a campy Peter Parker story. It's still a romantic drama between Peter and MJ and Harry story. It's still a Sam Raimi story. And that's defending Spider-Man 3. Thank you all guys for watching. If you did enjoy, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe. Are you happy now? Another Spider-Man video essay. You guys have been asking for them. I'm bringing them back, as you can tell. But yeah, that's me defending Spider-Man 3. This video is more about the morality of defending Spider-Man 3 rather than what it does right. Because we've all seen videos on the internet of what Spider-Man 3 gets right and how it does it correctly. Like the Emo Peter, like my video, or High Top Films' video where he explains everything good with Spider-Man 3. And this video is explaining why we should appreciate it, and this is me defending that morale and defending Sam Raimi for the people that still don't like this movie. You don't have to like it, but you could appreciate it just a little bit. But anyway, that's been me defending Spider-Man 3. Hopefully you enjoyed this little switch up defending the morale rather than what the film actually does right, because I've spoke so many times about the Raimi movies and so many other people have as well. But with that being said, the next video essay most likely will be defending The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yes, okay, I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be hard, but whatever. You guys are gonna get it, and I'll bring up part 3 to Andrew in the MCU as well very soon. And also, I'm working very hard on The Amazing Spider-Man continuation and Spider-Verse at the same time. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.